everybody. Today's card, we are going to make a card very similar to this. I made this using the Gina K fall, I believe it's fall leaves kit. Here is what the stamp set looks like. So I like that it has the solid stamps and the outline stamps, has a couple sentiments in there. And then the kit also comes with the dies on a magnetic sheet. And it came with a sample of Gina's papers. So I cut down the heavier cardstock I've already scored and folded. So this will be a standard A2 size card. I took this dark orange cardstock and I ran it through my Gemini Junior with this Paper Studio embossing folder, which has some different leaves on it. So there's some texture there with that. And I'm going to take some of the Nouveau Mousse in Mother of Pearl. Just take a little bit of that and just going to rub that on there. So it'll give it a little bit of shine, a little bit of color. And I'm basically just going to do the edges because the middle is going to be covered up by the card panel. Alright, so that takes care of that. Okay, and then this is the layering white, which is going to go on top of that. So we're going to put that aside. Alright, so what we want to do is I have a couple different colors of embossing powders. I have my anti-static tool here. Anti-static powder tool, so we're going to powder that down. Whoops. Get my embossing tool ready to go, my heat gun. Okay. So that's ready to go, and we're going to take a couple of these leaves, and I'm just going to use the outline ones. And I'm just going to use blocks. If you wanted to use your stamp positioning tool, you could, but these are easy enough just to use a couple of different blocks. Okay, so we have those ready to go. We're going to use our Versamark. So what we're going to do is we are going to stamp out and emboss each one at a time. So I'm going to start with the biggest one, which I guess this is like a maple leaf. And I'm just going to kind of stamp it in the middle here. And I try to do each one 3 times. I try. And I know it's hard to see because the Versamark's a clear sticky ink. And we're going to take one color of embossing powder. Where are my tweezers? So on that larger one, I'm going to be using, this is Stampin' Up's copper powder. And I love embossing because it gives color, it gives dimension without having to be an expert at coloring. And it just looks so neat and it gives it a real professional appearance. Everybody's like, how'd you do that? But I won't tell. So we're going to heat this up. Alright, we're going to give that a second to rest while we put this powder back in the jar. just shake the coffee filter out, flip it over, and now we move on to our next stamp and our next color. We'll repeat the process. On this one, I'm going to use Sparkle and Sprinkle Chocolate Sparkle. This is opaque. And this is like a bronze with some glitter in it. If you've never tried Sparkle and Sprinkle's embossing powder, it is beautiful. Demo Donna is always doing videos with all the products that they carry. They carry the Nouveau Mousse. They carry their own embossing powders, glitter, things like that. At trade shows, they have like you can get so many colors. I want to say like 6 colors for 25 or 30 bucks or something. So it's a good way to get a lot of different colors, and you don't need a whole bunch because a little bit goes a long way. Alright, so we're going to kind of get some of that extra glitter off of there. Move this aside and heat it again. Now, glitter embossing powder is a little harder to tell if it's set or not. What I do is I actually look at the little glitter particles because they do tend to lay flat once they've been heated, and that's how you know that they are stuck on. If you're not sure, you can go over it again. You just want to be careful that you're not overheating it so that it doesn't burn, because it will burn the paper. There we go. All right, we're going to take our anti-static tool and go through again on any of the negative spaces there. And we have this round one here. And just kind of fill in some of those negative spaces. And clean up this. This one I'm going to use Wow's Metallic Gold Rich Pale. And we're going to heat that. Alright, and we only have one more quick one to do here. By the way, I don't edit my videos, and I know some of you don't want to sit through watching this. If you tap the right side of the screen right here real quick, twice, boom, boom, it'll fast forward 10 seconds in the video. So you can fast forward a little bit if you don't want to watch all the embossing. I like to leave it on because there are some people that are not as familiar and they like to see every step, and they pause the video and they watch what's going on, which is fine. If you're not one of those people and you just want things to hurry up, then just tap the screen twice right there, boom, boom, and it will fast forward or rewind 10 seconds faster. And this last embossing powder is another glitter one, also from Sparkle and Sprinkle. This one is called Candlelight, and it's like a light rose gold with some glitter in it. right, so this one has, see that shimmer there? Don't worry about it. It's not going to stick there. It's only going to stick where the Versamark ink is. So that shimmer is just like a light dusting of some of the mica powder that's in their embossing powder. You don't have to worry about it. So you'll see when I heat this up. All right, and I'm just going to move this aside. And then I just take a microfiber cloth, clean up my area here, but you can see once we wipe that panel off, any remaining mica that wasn't on will come off, so it's not there anymore. So that is our background. So we're going to assemble this card quick. Tape runner. By the way, I want to thank everybody for your support. We are over 900 viewers now. We are almost to 1,000. If you would like to share any of my videos, please do so. Again, I do this for fun. I do plan on doing a giveaway once we get closer to 1,000 or over 1,000. I don't know what yet. I'll figure it out. But share the word. All right, so this is just some burlap ribbon from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to cut a little strip of this. And I'm going to use extreme adhesive on this because I don't want it to move. Okay, so we're just going to put a little piece of this down here. Now, I've already pre-cut the leaf and the thankful, so I can just put those on here. What I wanted to show you guys was on this one, I just heat embossed it here with regular copper embossing powder, but this leaf looks pretty neat, right? So I have an extra one here, but I wanted to show you guys real quick how I did that. So this is a leaf here. So what we want to do is first tack it down on some scrap paper. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive on some scrap paper here and tack that down. Then we're going to take our Versamark ink and we are going to ink that whole leaf down. So we want the whole thing covered, right? What I have here is some ultra thick embossing powder. So this one came in a big jar. It's also known as UTEE, ultra thick embossing powder. These are very large granules of embossing powder. They look like sugar. So you can see that there. So this is the tray that I used yesterday, and it's got some embossing powder mixed in it. So I don't know if you guys can see, but this leaf has some sparkle to it, but it has that ultra thick on it, and then I crackled it. You see that? So the way I did that was ink this up, and we're going to dip it in the ultra thick embossing powder. And we want the whole thing covered up. Okay, now this will come off if you heat it from the top. So what we want to do is we want to heat it from the bottom. We're going to let our gun heat up a few seconds. All right, now that's one layer, and you can leave it that way because it almost looks like a wet leaf. You can see some of the indentations there where it didn't stick all the way. What I wanted to do is really give it a raised effect. So when I put the second layer on, I'm going to give this a second just to cool down and dry. But when I put the second layer on, I took a pinch of other color embossing powders, just these guys, and sprinkled them on with the ultra thick, which is how I got this like glazed effect on here. And then once it was completely dry, I just cracked it. And you can hear it cracking there. And it looks like a real leaf. So I will do that one more time just so you can see it here. And you want to be working on a craft mat when you're doing this because this ink is very, very sticky. And you can put as many layers as you want on there. If you wanted it colored, you want to have your image stamped underneath. If you use another embossing powder underneath, it will just melt and turn like this marbled effect. So we're going to melt this from underneath again, heating our gun ahead of time. I don't know if you guys can see, there are different colors popping through there now. And that is because this embossing powder has been colorized already from the leaves that I did yesterday. So you can see the little spots in there. There we go. So it's a pretty neat way to make thick embellishments. So to finish off this card then, what I would do is I would put some foam tape behind it. And then I'm going to stamp this again and heat emboss it. And put my little leaf on there. So there you go. So that's our fall leaf card using regular embossing and heat embossing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, post them below. I will link the Gina K kit website. And also Sparkle and Sprinkle. If you have any questions, again, just let me know. I always enjoy helping you guys out. Share this video. Let's get to 1,000 viewers. Thanks for watching and keep on stamping.